We're live.
Hey guys, it's Algernon,
And it's me, Nona.
and welcome to our talk show. So today on episode 11, we're going to talk about our favorite memories when we lived in South Pasadena, California.
Absolutely. And if you guys want to keep on watching, keep on watching.
Yes, let's go.
Alrighty, so where do we want to begin? I mean, I can talk first thing that I wasn't, from South Pass, but I'd moved there when I was third grade. And literally that's been so long ago. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. And I don't know if you went to Marengo. Do you remember?
No, I went to what's the school?
You went to Monterey Park? Oh wait, not Monterey Park, Monterey Hills. Wow, fail.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yes, I went to Marengo, and that was the first elementary school that I went to in South Pass, California. And it's really interesting because we have like 3 elementary schools, I believe. And then middle school, high school, they're all like really close, and it's in that one small town. So if you guys do not know South Pass, anyone who's from there is definitely aware that all the schools are really connected. It's pretty cool. And there's no other city or small town, at least that I'm aware of, that have like all those schools kind of under like one district. It's pretty awesome. And yeah, so I wanted to briefly go over like, how things went, third grade up until like the time I met Algernon. And so yes, I grew up and I was really shy. I was a really shy kid. I had, trouble kind of opening up to people, and that was kind of how I was growing up. I never really was that type of kid to be super like out there and like would play with everybody or whatnot. I remember this one time, oh my gosh, it was so petty, but this girl, she was kind of like mean or whatever. I'm not calling out any names in this video, I'm just letting you know. But one day, she decided to like take my bracelet without me knowing. And I was like, okay, girl. I mean, I didn't know how to react at first because obviously I was like, oh, it's just a bracelet. But like, it was kind of petty because it's like, why would you take my bracelet? Like, that's my bracelet. You know what I mean? Yeah, I remember that girl, and I never really talked to her like that, but it was just really random. And I don't know why suddenly she decided to just take my bracelet. But that's like the biggest memory I have from that school. Someone just decided to like take my bracelet and run away with it. And I had to get the teacher to literally take it back for me because I couldn't do it myself. Yeah. So yeah, as you can tell, I was not very upfront with people, especially at a young age. I was just never one to kind of like confront the person if they did something wrong or was like kind of a bully or just kind of mean or whatever. That was how I was since third grade. And I think I never really started opening up until, I don't know, like I think the time when I met you. I don't want to fast forward there, but I didn't really become super like, I wouldn't say super outgoing, but to be more open with people by the time I think reached high school or whatever. But that's literally what I recall. But I know we met at like 7th grade. Wasn't it 7th grade?
Yeah, 7th grade.
Yeah, 7th grade. And still I was pretty shy, but I think once I met Algernon, I started to become more of myself in a way where it's like my personality just showed a little bit more. Like I was a little bit more bubbly, like I had a little bit more energy to me. And so I thank Algernon so much for that because like he started to give me like better memories over time because I didn't really have close friends, like super close friends. Besides, Patricia, and I remember it was Michelle, Hong. Yeah, I was really close with them, but that was in elementary school. And I just had a really close circle and never really had another close friend until you came along. So I want to like thank you for that. because it's I don't know, like, you just made me realize that there are really genuine, authentic people out there that are willing to be good friends with you and will stick to being a true friend. So I like to say the best memories like happen right after I met Algernon. Forget the third grade random drama, because I never really started opening up until I think until I met you. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, because we met back in 2007. We go way back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I know for me, I'm from South Pasadena. I was born and raised, well, born in East LA, raised in South Pasadena my whole life for 16 years.
Mm-hmm.
And we met in seventh grade. And because we met through one of our mutual friends. That's how we met.
Yeah.
And because she had a class with me. And then she introduced me to you.
Yeah.
And then that's how like we met ever since, and we started hanging out with each other.
Yeah, especially during school.
I remember we did everything together from middle school and high school.
Yeah, but like I think we started to really become more closer. I think once we stepped into high school.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
Yeah,
that is true.
Because we were still obviously trying to get to know each other a little bit more, like during middle school. We were kind of like whatever, like we're still eating lunch together and all that, but we never really started like talking more about ourselves and like just sharing like things we want to share with each other until probably like high school. I think that's what I remember.
Yeah, that is true. That is correct. I think really what it is, like what drew us like very, very close to be very close friends is we actually think alike.
We do.
You know what I'm saying? Like we think alike because we care about, everything that we have. We like to work hard and want to do better for ourselves, things like that. So I remember for me in middle school, I was quiet. And I remember I used to get bullied a lot. And for me, it was very challenging because a lot of my classes, I was the only black kid in the class, to be honest. And that's like when I first started with racism. Like that's when I first noticed it for me. Because I remember this one mutual friend between all of us. Because we all have, mind you, in South Pass, we all have the same mutual friends.
Yeah, it's a small town.
I mean, we know everybody.
Everybody's business sometimes too.
Yeah, that's how I'm talking now. And this one guy, I remember he called me the N-word. And that was when I was in seventh grade. And it was about 3-4 months after I met you.
Whoa.
Yeah. It was like 3-4 months right after I met you. And when it happened to me, I was like, is this really happening to me? And I remember so many of the kids were like, oh, like Algernon, don't be rude to him. Like he's from Germany, trying to make all these kind of excuses. And when it hit me, I did not know what to do. My first instinct was to just tell my parents, and then it started to unravel. Like I used to fist fight a lot because kids would just push me, punch me, do all kinds of stuff to me. And I remember before the rule was, oh, somebody hits you, you cannot hit back. To me, I just thought that was the dumbest rule I ever heard in my life. Because it's like, okay.
Because self-defense.
Yeah, and it's like half the fights I got into, I was outnumbered. I used to fight 4 people, 5 people at once. So I used to be like, so if I get jumped, I'm not supposed to do nothing. Okay, that ain't working. So, of course, I have to defend myself. And this was every single day. And then I remember people tried to jump me. People tried to do everything. Like, all my fist fights that I've gotten into from middle school, it also happened at South Pasadena High School. But that's when it got really worse for me because I got called the N-word again. It happened multiple times. The fights became more dangerous, but then the weird thing was, after I whooped people's behinds for at least, the 100th time,
oh, jeez,
they wanted to start being my friend.
See, that's really weird.
That was was so weird to me. I used to look around. I'm like, what am I? What's this, Disneyland? What? Huh? Wait a minute. I just fought you. Now you want to be my friend? No,
Okay.
this is weird. This is really, really weird. And for anybody out there, I'm an only child. So anybody out there who is an only child like me, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's really, really hard. Like, people look at all the material stuff and they don't realize what we have to go through as an only child. And basically, I had to grow up fast and some fast, if that makes sense. I had to grow up fast because I'm in the classroom, not a lot of Black people, and it's challenging because I basically have to break out of my shell to defend myself. Because before, when I used to get attacked, I used to cry. I used to cry a lot. I would go home crying to my parents for hours, and I used to be kind of like nervous to go back to school.
Wow.
Now, even though I've done martial arts, my whole entire life, it's that rule, if I hit that rule, if I get kicked out of school. That was like my stigma at that time, but I just didn't realize it. So that's like when the racism really started for me. And I did not understand it at all. I used to be like, why is everybody picking on me? How can I always pick on all the other kids? Didn't realize only Black kid in the class. And how that affected me. Like, I remember it got to the point where I remember somebody told me to commit suicide. A mutual friend between me and you told me to commit suicide at a very young age.
Oh my gosh.
So I never spoke on it because it kept happening a lot. And I realized that a lot of people feel like because they have all these nice material things, that they could throw it in your face like you don't have stuff, or I'm better than you, that kind of attitude. And it was very hurtful. And it didn't hit me until later on, after school sometimes. I'm like, did this person really just say that to me? Did this person really just call me the N-word? Did this person really just hit me? So after when I really started to just talk about my problems to you and sometimes our other friends and stuff, some of them did understood where I was coming from. And sometimes when I would talk to my other friends that are Black, the weird thing was they didn't really experience that.
But is it because you happen to be in a town that was predominantly,
white?
Yeah. White and like it's a mix of a couple, but definitely not super diverse. You know what I mean?
Because at that time it was all white and Mexican. I can only name off of our mutual friends are actually Black, and that's only what.
Yeah, there's only a few. I noticed that too. Yeah, there's only a few.
Yeah, it was not a lot of Blacks in school at all, and especially the whole entire town.
Yeah.
I mean, I can even count my neighbors. I can remember at least the part of South Pass where I was, the north side. It was at least 4.
Wow. Yeah.
4, and then south where you is, the south part of South Pass that you were at, I can only count maybe 2 or 3, something like that.
Oh yeah.
Something like that. So it was very challenging sometimes. The reason why it'll be challenging sometimes is because we didn't understood it. You understand? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then sometimes I look around and it was a lot of Hispanics. But then I used to wonder, why am I battling the whites and the Hispanics at the same time? The fights I used to get into used to be very, very dangerous. Did I win them? Yes, I did.
Oh gosh.
how to just not take nobody's stuff anymore. It taught me all the fist like you can't let nobody put hands on you and think that's supposed to be okay.
No.
You cannot think someone could just say something rude to you and be disrespectful to you and think it's supposed to be okay.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, like my parents used to come down to the school every day. That's how bad it was for me.
Did this happen during high school? Did this happen during high school? Like it was often?
Okay, so basically, it all started in middle school, but
Yeah.
it got worse after high school. That's how it got a lot worse for me.
That's crazy.
Because that's when, a lot of times when this stuff was happening, you were in class.
Yeah.
I think
it's funny. It's crazy because we only got to see each other certain times. Like I feel like every time I saw you, it was just literally for a brief moment during lunch, and then we're kind of like, oh, looks like we have to go to our classes, and we never really had classes together. Like I just want to put a disclaimer that we never really had classes together. Unlike if it was a PE thing or whatever, then sure, but we never had classes together. Like I noticed that. I feel, you know what I mean? So then I didn't really get to keep tabs on every single thing that Algernon is mentioning right now. So if it seems like I'm super surprised, like I just feel like I don't know anything, it's because we legitimately did not have any classes together and they just didn't really align. Like I wasn't in a classroom right near him. Like it seemed like we were always in opposite directions. So he's literally just telling me things that would happen when I wasn't around. Because I would have known. Obviously, I wouldn't be reacting a certain way. But like the things he's mentioning, it seems like super like surprising to me because I never knew he went through this much.
Yeah.
We would only talk about like little things here and there when we caught up with each other, but it would never touch that subject. Because we want to try to always bring the positivity, you know what I mean? Like we were always trying to be kind of like happy and all that, and just try to put more of a light conversation, usually that's what we always do. Yeah, we just never really touched any subject regarding that matter. So this is so new to me. Super new.
Yeah, it really was. And you're right, we never did have class together.
No, it was probably the PE exam, like when we ran the mile and did all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah, but seriously, guys, it's crazy because as close as we are right now till this day, we never had a class together. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. But the fact that we still maintain friendship regardless of even how far I am right now. I'm in Florida. He's in California. And we are still maintaining a pretty good friendship till now, which is crazy. So it says a lot, you know what I mean? But I will never know how much he actually went through because I didn't have all these classes with him. So yeah.
Nobody really knew. That's the thing. I mean, certain people did for those who were in class with me.
Yeah, they would know.
Because to be honest with you, I think you saw me get into it once. I think one time you saw me get into it, but you didn't understand what was going on.
Yeah, I didn't understand like what the reason behind that is. Like if whoever initiated it, and I wouldn't say that you normally initiate anything. Of course not. You wouldn't ask for a fight.
Right.
But yeah, maybe I've seen it, but it's just at those times where it's like I don't have all that time to watch, you know what I mean? Like there's just so much going on during school. So it's like I saw it for a brief moment, but obviously I didn't know what was going on at all. Right. It was crazy.
Right. And then it started to get to the point where, oh my goodness, the teacher that I had, she started to defend
the other bullies. Person. Oh gosh.
She started to defend the bullies against me. Oh my goodness, I can remember this like it was yesterday.
Hold on, was this high school or middle school? Just give me the context.
High school.
So this is high school, okay. So a high school teacher decided to take on someone else's side. But what honestly was the reasons? Because of I don't know.
You, you know what? Here's a good one right here. This particular guy. Well, okay. Let me see if I can organize as best as possible. This one guy specifically was Caucasian. What was it? We used to be close because we all go back from middle school, and I didn't understand what his issue was with me. But then it got to the point where we got into a very dangerous fight, and it was a wood shop, and there was no teacher.
Oh my gosh!
Right? So while that was going on, it was really bad. It got to the point where two people had to break it up. Yeah, it was really, really bad.
Oh my gosh!
And then I remember I went to the principal's office and everything, and we were supposed to stay away from each other, but it was kind of hard because we had classes together, which was very, very hard for me.
Oh,
and that's when I really had to step out of my shell and just be like, I'm not going to take no nonsense from anybody. And this teacher, she just really got the nerve to be like, he likes Algernon. Like, I don't understand what's Algernon's problem. And this particular guy that we both know that I thought, he brought alcohol to school.
Oh my god.
And he drank it, pure vodka.
Hold up, you told me this? You told me this, so now it's starting to come back, but I didn't realize you went in such a scary fight with this guy.
Yeah. Oh, this fight, it was really, really bad. I mean,
like if you were to compare to all the other ones?
That fight was the worst one.
Oh my gosh.
The crazy thing was, all the fights I got into, I never got in trouble for it. All of them.
Wow.
I never got in trouble.
I mean, honestly, you are defending yourself, so I'm not even surprised, and that's the right thing. If that person initiated, it's like, you're not gonna try to get injured in the process, like excuse me, you know what I mean? So, self-defense, guys.
It was all self-defense.
It was, I mean.
It was all self-defense, but you know what? I had to tell myself anytime I got into a situation, I just have to make a game out of it.
Oh gosh, how dark.
Because like for me, like I said, I'm an only child, so all the instances, all the fights I've gotten into, that was one of the most dangerous ones. Like, I didn't have any scratches or bruises that person did, but yeah.
That martial arts came in handy, man.
And that fight was so bad, there was no teacher there.
I'm surprised. Okay, hold up. I'm surprised there was no teacher. And this was woodshop, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of dangerous to leave kids. I don't like saying that, but first of all, when we're teens, we're not that mature. Let's be honest. You can say all you want that you're mature. You're not super mature. Like, your brain is still developing and all that. So the fact that there was no one attending to the woodshop where there's actual like sharp stuff and like all this stuff that can hurt people, like, that is really concerning. I'm just saying.
The teacher came after the fight. I don't know where he was because
that's a little shady.
The weird part about it was the teacher left the classroom door unlocked. So everybody started coming in the classroom. So I was like, this is weird. This is different.
Wait, the teacher doesn't just leave and not have a reason for not being there for a little bit. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird. Sorry, I just had to mention that. It's weird.
It was weird because I was like, are we supposed to go in? Are we supposed to go in this class? I was very hesitant. I was hesitant. I was like, you know what, I guess. Everybody started going in, and I was like, I guess I should go.
Yeah, that's a little concerning in itself, besides the whole fight situation. But anyways, I don't want to make this super sad of a video, and it's been 24 minutes, and I don't want to cut you off at all. But let's skip to the good memories that we both have in terms of South Pass, because I know it was rough in some ways, but there should be some positives here, hopefully. Like what you like about South Pass, certain people that you've met that you're like, oh, I mean, they're not bad, like they're kind of cool or whatever. Any good memories that you have in mind that you want to mention?
There's a good handful.
Okay.
That are really, really good, I would say. What's a real good memory? I'm trying to think. Oh, I think we all used to watch. I forgot what movie it was. We used to watch movies together.
Oh, I don't remember exactly the
we used to
movies.
talk about cooking. We used to talk about cooking a lot. The stuff that we learned from middle school and how we incorporated it.
Hold up, Missy Conda. Oh my gosh. Anyone out there? I don't know if anyone makes it this far in a video usually, but anyone who's had Missy Conda, first of all, awesome lady. She knows how to teach us really well. I remember when I was so like unsure of what I was doing that when I did the eggs, she literally slapped my hand, but like, you know what, that's fine. Asian lady kind of stuff. I'm used to that. But anyways, she's like saying, no, don't do the eggs first. She like slapped my hand like briefly. She's like, don't do the eggs first. So you're not supposed to do the eggs first. You're supposed to do dry ingredients first. And then my ass was just like, let me just do the eggs first. Because it was like right in front of me. And I was like, oh, should I crack these eggs first? And I tried to put that in a bowl before the flour, and obviously that's wrong. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, anyways, but I love her. I love her, and I think it's super cool that we both kind of bonded through the cooking thing. It was awesome. And I feel like a lot of the recipes that she kind of like came up with, it's like stuff we could actually like do. And it doesn't seem that bad either. And like we both like, you know, what she was kind of helping us learn and all that stuff. It was cool that we related in that sense because we didn't have so many classes together, but the fact that we at least bonded over, you know, like having the same, you know, cooking class, but even if we're not in the same class, was pretty cool.
Yeah, that very helped us, you know, to learn, especially me learning how to cook at a very young age.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's like what helped bonded us. And also, it was, I think it was choir class that bonded us too.
I didn't even have choir though. I have to remind you, I never had choir. Oh my gosh, I don't know what it is, but I felt like it looked like we were going to be in the same class at some point, but it's like, it almost feels like we were in the same class. I don't know why we always have this feeling. It's really funny, but I don't know. But yeah, I never had choir. I never took choir.
My bad.
I know. Anyways, but it was cool because like during lunch we would kind of like catch up and stuff, and we would talk about people. So random. We'd talk about people, or like we just talk about, you know, what we bought and stuff like that. Like, you know, we had a little bit of fashion sense going on. I remember my sophomore year, child. I was trying to look, you know, pop in like fashionista vibes, but not trying to look like too bougie and all. I actually really put effort into my outfits. Like, if I compare to myself now, like I don't do as much because first of all, it's super humid over here, and the last thing I want is to like wear tights and all that stuff. But I used to wear like straight up tights and like nice like skirts, like, you know, those bodycon skirts and stuff like that, and then match that with like a cute tank, and then like I had boots on, like I would put combat boots, and that was actually my style. Oh my gosh. And I would wear like sometimes dresses that were kind of form-fitting with the tights and stuff. That was totally my style.
And your gray jacket that you had.
I had a cardigan. Oh yeah. Child, I was so into that. And we related actually to that because we both really cared about, you know, how we dressed and stuff. I know you do still now because first of all, you guys have better weather over there. But yeah, we actually bonded a lot over that too. Just saying.
Yeah.
And fitness lately, we've been kind of, although he's saying that he hasn't worked out in a while, but I don't blame him because his job is pretty, it's pretty intense.
Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the job's very intense.
Yeah. Like he's lifting boxes on top of boxes, packing boxes, shipping boxes. Woo!
And shipping off totes and boxes.
He was showing me exactly what he does in his job, and I was like, holy cow. That's crazy.
And it's every night too. Yeah.
You want to show him exactly what you showed me? What you do on your job?
I have enough space for it now, but It's a lot of lifting,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a lot of shipping stuff
See, it's
off the
exactly what he was
system.
showing me, but it was so funny because he was standing up and showing me exactly what he was doing. He started doing the whole thing, like squatting, bending, like lifting, everything. It's crazy.
That's how it is at Amazon.
Uh-huh. But okay, briefly, I wanted to kind of go over what I missed about South Pass in general. It doesn't have to do with the people at all. It's kind of random. What I miss the most, because I'm in an area now in Florida where I don't have, all the conveniences around me where I could just easily walk outside and go to the park or like go to the store, all that stuff. So I definitely miss that because I used to live right across the park. If you guys do not know, I used to live in an apartment complex. I was literally just right by the park. Garfield Park, if anyone knows Garfield Park, awesome park. A lot of people go there, especially during the weekends. It's like it's always popping. There's always something going on, like concerts, people, doing yoga outside, joggers,
Yeah.
bikers. It's popping. South Pass is pretty popping, especially during the weekend.
Right.
And tennis people. People love playing tennis. But yeah, I used to love going to that park and just getting my steps in and everything. Just start walking around, doing a bunch of laps, brisk walking, all that good stuff. And then I would stop by either Bristol Farms, where I used to work as a cashier, if anyone remembers that, or if anyone even cares. But yeah, I used to be cashier. And I loved Bristol. Like they had really great products and all that good stuff. And I loved the food there. It was awesome. It was pretty pricey, but honestly, it was worth it because they had quality stuff, and I loved it. It was
Yeah.
super close to where I was too. I literally could just walk there. I didn't have to drive. I barely had to drive back in South Pass. I literally barely drove. I don't even remember driving more than
That
once a
is
week.
true.
It's crazy. Everything is walking distance, and that's what I actually miss so much about South Pass. Like just everything's around. Everything.
It really is.
Yeah. Anyways, what do you miss about South Pass? Like this town in general that you don't really have where you're at right now.
Oh, what I missed was I miss like going down on Maury Road.
Oh my gosh.
I miss going down that street because you get to, especially around this time of fall, you get to see the leaves change.
Oh my
And,
gosh,
like,
I totally
you get to
forgot.
feel the wind a little bit. Oh my gosh, I miss everything about South Pass.
Me
Even though
too. There's
all the
no
stuff
town like it for some reason. It's crazy. Like I can try going around here in Florida and just trying to find like a city like Tampa or Orlando or something, but it's just not the same as being able to literally walk outside, and the air is not humid. First of all, we love non-humid air. Like I miss that. But I think West Coast has it pretty awesome with like the weather. But in terms of the convenience, you can never find the exact match like anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
So that's why I really loved it. And I don't know. I just miss South Pass in that sense. And I also miss the fact that we were just super close, even if we didn't have a lot of class together. We didn't get to talk like all the time, but we really maintained such a close friendship. And it's crazy how it all started there. It all started there. So I really have to like, always reminisce the good times. Even if, we had a little bit of a rough time, but, everyone has their own little rough moments during, growing up and all that stuff, especially if you're not from that town. But even if you were from that town, but just dealing with the fact that there's going to be things that not everyone can relate to you. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then the fact that everyone around you can be super different from you is like, that's the challenge in itself. But the fact that we were able to survive that and just grow from that just made us like really strong people. And when we reflect to today and how we are as people and how we know how to handle situations, that's why we really have to think where we came from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Despite, the hardship and like despite all the complications and people that tried to mess with us and all that stuff. But it really taught us to be more resilient and more strong and to continue to have faith because things get better, especially if you put your faith into the fact that God has it all planned for you and everything. And that's like coming back to the whole like just trust in the process. I think that's a really big thing. And even if we might go through some difficult times, just know that there's always light at the end of the tunnel. As cheesy as that sounds, but
Yeah.
so yeah, we want to kind of like end it there. And if anyone from South Pass wants to comment anything or even just like message us at some point, like tell us like, oh yeah, like I missed that about South Pass, especially those who aren't even currently living in South Pass and they just kind of like remember the things that we're talking about and just like kind of bring up something, feel free to. Again, like, comment stuff for more content like this on the Nona and Algie Talk Show. Algernon, do you have a few more things to say?
I still love South Pass regardless of
Absolutely.
everything we went through, and I'm so glad we're still best friends.
I know.
And, stay strong, everybody, and keep pushing forward no matter what it looks like.
Exactly.
Keep pushing and keep getting stronger.
Exactly. And see Algernon today, best version of ever, because he grew from, you know, the tough upbringing, I would like to say, like, despite all of that things that happened to him, but just became a strong person. And he's like a true example of like what happens when you just keep fighting and keep pushing through. You know what I mean? So take him for example.
Take her for example.
No, I'd like to say you went through a lot. You went through a lot more. But yeah, anyways, we really thank you guys for staying tuned. We want to keep these videos consistent, and actually at some point we're probably going to do the whole editing thing again where we can post our own content probably, or at least just put a little bit more work into our videos instead of doing lives all the time. Now, lives aren't something that we intend to stop at some point. It's just, it's nice to have edited videos uploaded as well. So that way it's kind of like we can kind of do it at any time. Because when we're editing and all that good stuff, that is a process in itself, but being able to upload as much as we can because we edited is always good. So it might help a lot of people that aren't, you know, able to even watch our lives or anything. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. And so we hope to bring up more content. But if anyone has any questions, feel free to DM any of us using our social medias that we have listed below as usual. But I hope you guys have a great day.
Bye, everybody.
Okay.
Okay, hold on.